Hi, I'm Spencer and I'm going to be talking about mental health as a queer non-binary person. If you don't know, being non-binary is a gender identity, and it basically means, for me anyway, that I don't feel like a boy, I don't feel like a girl, I just feel like something in the middle. I feel like just a person, and I use they them pronouns. In terms of sexuality, there are a few different words that you could use for me, I suppose, but basically I like to use the word queer, and I like the ladies. What can I say? So I have struggled with my mental health for pretty much as long as I can remember. I have OCD, which stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I know that when you say the word OCD, most people think about cleaning. That's kind of the only form of OCD you really see in media, but it's obsessive compulsive disorder, so it's anything that your brain obsesses over that gives you anxiety. And then people form compulsions to try and relieve themselves of the anxiety that their thoughts and obsessions are causing them. And it definitely does not manifest with cleanliness in me. I do not have a cleaning compulsion. I've hidden it quite well, but my room's actually very messy. OCD tends to latch on to the things that you hold closest to your heart and the things that mean the most to you. So for that reason, a lot of people have OCD surrounding their identities, and they start to panic and question their identities because they had one thought one time about finding someone of the same gender attractive, and it's such an innocent thought, but then what OCD does is it takes that innocent thought and turns it into something that it isn't a lot of the time. But it's important to remember that while a lot of people have OCD surrounding their identities, it doesn't mean that they are that thing. It just so happens that for me it ended up being true, but it isn't in every case. Pretty much from the first second that I thought to myself, oh, could I like women, I began obsessing over that thought. I began analysing every single time I'd ever thought about a woman. I began ruminating over every interaction I'd ever had with my female friends and like questioning whether I hugged them for too long, or whether me wanting to hug them in the first place meant that I had crushes on them. And I basically tortured myself over this for like the longest time. I used to stay awake at night just thinking and thinking and thinking, and honestly it was rather exhausting. My mind was absolutely taken over by this one thought, this one idea, this one question: could I be gay? That obsession kind of lost its hold on me once I owned it a little bit and started telling people that I was bisexual. Once I put it out there, it kind of took the power of the thing away. And again, this is not the same for every person with OCD, and this is just my experience. Unfortunately, when you have a subtype of OCD, they don't really tend to go away. I think of it more as it laying dormant, and then something else just kind of wakes it up. And that happened to me when I stopped worrying about being gay. I started worrying about my gender identity. I couldn't tell you the amount of nights I spent awake just ruminating over every thought I'd ever had. And even though at this time in my life I knew what being non-binary was, I wasn't just thinking about that. I was absolutely freaking out and ruminating and obsessing over every single possibility. Am I a woman? Am I non-binary? Am I genderqueer? Am I a trans man? Like, what are all of these feelings? What do they mean? And it was this, I had this really earth-shattering sense of urgency. Like, I had to figure it out, and the world was going to explode if I didn't figure it out. I would talk about this stuff with a friend and then immediately lock myself away for weeks and not talk about it with anyone, and just completely bully myself and feel anxious for speaking about it. That was something else. Every time I tried to reach out and talk to somebody about it, it would just give me more to ruminate over. Why did I say that thing? Why did I talk to this friend about it? They're gonna think this about me, they're gonna think that about me. I need to now reach out to this friend and get them to tell me what they think I am so I can make this anxiety go away. It was constant. Ultimately, living like that can only lead to one thing, which is hating yourself. Because I wasn't exploring my identity with any sense of freedom or happiness about the fact that that was happening. I was demonizing everything I was feeling. All of that contributed not only to my OCD but also to my depression. I really just hated myself, and I hated the way that I felt. I really saw the potential that I could be non-binary as this evil, horrible thing that was just causing me nothing but pain. I wasn't thinking about it like, oh, maybe I could be, and that's okay. I was like, this is this evil thing that is making me feel so bad, and I physically cannot do this. And I hid it from everyone. I didn't want other people to know what was going on inside my head, and I didn't want anyone to see me being so sad and anxious and not myself. At the time that I was going through all of this, I had a group of friends who had previously, because we all went to school together, completely blocked me out of anything social, because I was depressed for different reasons and everything. The last thing I was going to do was talk to them and tell them how I was feeling, because I didn't want them to abandon me again, pretty much. I truly just did not like myself, and that was even after I came out. After I came out, I knew when I wore a tight skirt and a face full of makeup and kissed boys for dares and stuff at parties that I was truly uncomfortable and truly unhappy. I just did it because I was trying to keep other people in my life, and that was dragging me down so much. I had come out, sure, but I had not accepted myself, and it was still causing me so much upset and anxiety because I just wasn't being myself. And you can't love someone that you're refusing to be. I couldn't love myself as a non-binary person or as a queer person because I wasn't allowing that person to fully be there and seen. I would say only in sort of like the past year, maybe a year and a half, have I truly accepted myself for who I am, and I mean that for my gender and for my sexuality. What helped me reach that point is reminding myself constantly how much I truly loved the people around me that were trans and non-binary and queer, and how much they would always love me in return. The internet also really helped me. As silly as it may sound, TikTok actually really helped me to truly accept myself. My For You page was just full of like queer people, non-binary people, trans people, people of colour, like just everyone. That's my For You page, and it makes me so happy every single day to see so many different types of people just talking about what they had for breakfast or something. I don't know, it's been something that actually really did truly help me, and I've made so many queer and trans friends on the internet that I just feel this sense of support and acceptance that I didn't previously have. So all of those things really helped me accept myself and help to diminish the OCD and anxiety surrounding my identity. But obviously I still have OCD and I still struggle with it every single day. I still have depression, I still have anxiety, I'm still struggling with my mental health every single day. But the thing that has helped me massively was going to a doctor and talking to a therapist about everything that I was feeling. When I was first told that what I was experiencing had a name and a thing, and I could get help for it, that absolutely changed my life. And something I just want to say to anyone who may also be dealing with similar things, be it mental health or questioning their identity, you deserve to feel happy and comfortable in your own skin.